Hello, everybody, and welcome to the October 26th episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick, brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, we're putting money into this project of ours. We're live every Sunday, and I thank you all so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News YouTube page. This is a program dedicated to bringing good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back to the world. Several of our articles are pulled from sites like goodnewsnetwork.org and goodgoodgood.co, but we appreciate everything sent in by you, the Nick's Newsies. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Christian. Hello, everyone. I'm back in here for once. Very great. Thank you. Glad to have you with us, Christian. If you noticed my dour mood, it'll become apparent soon, because we'll get into the news brew. Why do I do this to myself? I will probably never know. You all revel in my suffering, so here it is, the once-a-year pumpkin beer episode, the dreaded pumpkin beer. Tonight, we crack open New Holland Brewing Company's infamous Ichabod's Revenge. Come on, camera. There we go. Ichabod's Revenge. This is a 10.6% ABV Imperial Pumpkin Ale, and it will probably put an end to the Headless Horseman and this good news anchor. So, I do this all for you. The content, Dirty Rogue said you do it for the content. No, I do this for all of you. Hey Joe, hey Nico, hey Julie. So, because this is a mediocre beer, I will be drinking it out of a plastic glass. But this is a really cool plastic glass. I think this might have been... Julie, was this a gift from you? I think you gave me this one. It says, enjoy the brew on it. Hey, Becky. And, yeah... I think you gave me this. I'll wait to see. But let's get into theatrics of a diabolical pour. 'Tis the season, I suppose. I was actually in Chicago yesterday for a birthday, so happy birthday, Sarah. And Sarah practically force-fed me a bit of a pumpkin beer she got. There's photos of the full-body cringe that I was doing trying to avoid it. I won it at the chili cook-off. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I won that at a chili cook-off at Julie's. Julie hosts amazing parties, by the way. All right, here we go. Oh, no! Oh, I can smell it. Oh, no. Oh, dear God in heaven. There is no God. It's pumpkin orange. Oh! That's the worst one yet. Oh, dear sweet Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Made a mistake, folks. It's pumpkin. It's dark pumpkin orange. That little sip I took just kicked me in the mouth. Oh, I hate myself. Clearly. Dirty Rogue's gonna drink a Guinness in my honor. Christian says pumpkin spiced news brew. Charlie, there is no God, only pumpkin beer. Becky, I will be bouncing between you and shopping for Lorcana cards. Nick, you wanted the tradition to continue. Yes, I've made a mistake. I don't know why people don't pull me back from the edge of this monstrosity, this nightmare. This is so bad. Like, this is awful. Shout outs. It just so happens that Halloween falls on a Friday this year, so that means you can celebrate it with Fox and Hen. Wear a costume and enjoy some fall-themed wine and cider. There will be a $30 gift certificate awarded at 7 p.m. to the adult with the best costume. Cousin's Maine Lobster food truck will be there from 4 to 7 p.m. And there you go. You now have Halloween plans. Head on over to Fox and Hen Winery. It's located between downtown Grand Haven and Allendale, and they are having a Halloween party. So, to Fox and Hen. Oh, no. Cheers. Ugh. This is going to be a long episode. Journey Church in Conway, New Hampshire, has asked us to let you all know that they will be hosting a trunk and treat on October 31st. There will be food trucks, music, candy, and more. If you're in that area, feel free to join them from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at 15 Hutchins Drive, Conway, New Hampshire. To Journey Church in Conway, having a trunk and treat, and to everybody that goes. Cheers. You ever, look at a battery, like a car battery, and maybe it's got, a lot of corrosion on a lead on it? And do you ever think, I want to drink that? Ugh. Sucks. News quote. It's a matter of taking the side of the weak against the strong, something the best people have always done. That comes from Harriet Elizabeth Beecher Stowe, who lived from 1811 to 1896, who was an American abolitionist and an author of Uncle Tom's Cabin, which depicts the harsh conditions experienced by enslaved African Americans. And I really like that quote. Because there are a lot of folks that don't have the strength of numbers or the strength of, personality or the strength of just strength on their side to be able to, withstand the slings and arrows. So for those of us that are strong, it's important that we are helping these people around us. So it's a matter of taking the side of the weak against the strong, something the best people have always done. To Harriet Beecher Stowe, cheers. Oh, God. Oh, it came back up the same way it went down. I don't want to swallow it every time. I don't want to swallow it. Julie says, Nick, make a Constitution saving throw. Followed up by a willpower saving throw. Julie, I failed both. Charlie says, you can see part of his soul shrivel. I think it's just getting clipped. I think parts of my soul are getting clipped with each swig of this beer. The rolls are at disadvantage. Oh. Dirty Rogue says, take a D12 bardic inspiration for that saving throw, sire. There aren't enough die in the world to save me from this. I've done it to myself. Bug update. Oh. It seems Elmira might have gone back into hibernation already. I haven't seen her for a bit, and there's no way for her to get out, so that's telling me she's probably back in her burrow. I did let it get cold one day, down into the low 70s, high 60s, and I think that might have triggered her time to go back into her long sleep mode. Ripley's doing well, scuttling around, enjoying the limelight of their new home, and they seem to be good. The roaches are fantastic too. They have really nice little cuddle puddles where they're all just kind of clumped up. I'll get a picture of it probably for the Tuesday bug post on Instagram. Sue was out earlier when I looked in. Like, he was completely out of the hide, so I'm hoping that his scared ass will come walking around in that far tank back there. So keep an eye out. If you see the big scorpion start to move around in there, please post Sue in the chat. Okay, our broadcast is broken up into, well, it's time to get into the good news, and our broadcast is broken up into 4 major categories, and those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes, the really nice articles that we like to end on. So we're going to start off in category 1, science and technology. We've got one article in this section, and we called it, "It's Elementary, My Dear Watson." I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along with me. It's like it's laughing at me. It's so bad. Forensics Holy Grail. New test recovers fingerprints from ammunition casing. This was published to SciTech Daily on October 24th of 2025 by Maine University. Oh, I can just taste it. Oh, it tastes terrible. A groundbreaking technique that can recover fingerprints from fired ammunition casings, something long considered nearly impossible, has been created by 2 scientists in Ireland. Dr. Ethne Dempsey and her former PhD student, Dr. Colm McKeever, from the Department of Chemistry at Maynooth University, developed an innovative electrochemical approach that can reveal fingerprints on brass casings even after they have been subjected to the extreme heat generated when a gun is fired. Julie and Becky both saying, "I got this." Thank you both. I need the encouragement. For decades, forensic experts have faced major challenges in retrieving usable prints from firearms because the high temperatures, friction, and gases produced during firing typically destroy any biological traces. As a result, offenders have often felt confident that leaving behind casings would not link them to a crime scene. The holy grail in forensic investigation has always been retrieving prints from fired ammunition casings, said Dr. Dempsey. Traditionally, the intense heat of firing destroys any biological residue. However, our technique has been able to reveal fingerprint ridges that would otherwise remain imperceptible. The researchers discovered that by coating brass casings with a thin layer of specialized materials, they could expose hidden fingerprint ridges. Unlike traditional methods that rely on harsh chemicals or complex equipment, this new technique uses safe, easily accessible polymers and very little energy to produce visible prints within seconds. The process involves immersing the casings in an electrochemical cell containing specific chemical compounds. When a small voltage is applied, the chemicals in the solution are drawn to the surface, depositing material between the fingerprint ridges and forming a sharp, high-contrast image. The print emerges rapidly, appearing almost instantly as if by magic. Using the burnt material that remains on the surface of the casing as a stencil, we can deposit specific materials in between the gaps, allowing for the visualization, said Dr. McKeever. Tests showed that this technique also worked on samples aged up to 16 months, demonstrating remarkable durability. Dirty Rogue says, "Close your eyes and chug." Producer Donna says, "This is super cool. Think of all the cold cases that now have new leads, even something like high stakes incidents throughout our time." I don't know what YouTube would hit me with if I said certain things, so I'm just kind of towing the line a little bit. The research has significant implications for criminal investigation. See, this beer's got me all tripped up. The research has significant implications for criminal investigations, where the current assumption is that firing a gun eliminates fingerprint residue on casings. Currently, the best case of forensic analysis of ammunition casings is to match it to the gun that it fired it, said Dr. McKeever. But we hope a method like this could match it to back to the actual person who loaded the gun. The team focused specifically on brass ammunition casings, a substance that has been traditionally resistant to fingerprint detection and is the most common type of material used globally. The researchers believe that the test for fingerprints on brass they have developed could be adapted for other metallic surfaces, expanding its range of potential forensic applications from firearm-related crimes to arson. This technique uses a device called a potentiostat, which controls voltage and can be as portable as a mobile phone, making it possible to create a compact forensic testing kit. So can you imagine deploying this and just finding prints that were never able to be found? That would be pretty cool. With this method, we have turned the ammunition casing into an electrode, allowing us to drive chemical reactions at the surface of the casing, said Dr. McKeever. While promising, the new technology faces rigorous testing and validation before it could potentially be adopted by law enforcement agencies worldwide. There is a reference to the article. It is electrodeposition of redox materials with potential for enhanced visualization of latent finger marks on brass substrates and ammunition casings. And it was published on April 19th of 2025 in Forensic Chemistry. That is really cool. To Drs. McKeever and Dempsey in Ireland for producing a way to find fingerprints on spent brass casings from firearms, something that hasn't been done before. Cheers! Oh. Okay. That's going to get us out of science and technology. We're going to move on to category 2, health and medicine. We've got 2 articles in here. We call the first one, Turn the Page. That beer is just diabolical. Okay. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. New eye implants combined with augmented reality glasses help blind people read again in small trial. This was published to Live Science on October 21st of 2025 by Skylar Ware. A surgically implanted chip and augmented reality glasses are helping some people who have lost their sight read again. In a small trial, about 80% of people who had lost vision due to age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, were able to read letters and words a year after receiving the treatment, according to a study published Monday, October 20th, in the New England Journal of Medicine. In the history of artificial vision, this represents a new era, study co-author Mahi Makit, an ophthalmologist at University College London and the Moorfields Eye Hospital in the UK, said in a statement. Blind patients are actually able to have meaningful central vision restoration, which has never been done before. AMD is the most common cause of blindness in adults over the age of 65. The disease affects the macula, or the central part of the retina, and leads to vision loss in the center of the eye. In advanced AMD, a process known as geographic atrophy causes significant damage to retinal cells, which can cause full blindness in that eye. Geographic atrophy affects about 5 million people worldwide. Before receiving the implant, it was like having 2 black discs in my eyes, with the outside distorted. Sheila Irvine, a participant in the study who was diagnosed with AMD, said in a statement. In a small clinical trial, 38 European patients with AMD had a small electronic chip implanted under the center of their retina below cells that had died. The chip wirelessly connects to a pair of augmented reality glasses attached to a small computer that they each wear on their waistbands. This setup, called the Photovoltaic Retina Implant Microarray or PRIMA system, uses a video camera in the glasses to capture images of text. The glasses then project that image as infrared light onto the implanted chip. Then the chip converts the light into electrical signals, which the brain interprets as vision. That is some next level science right there. It's a new way of looking through your eyes, and it was dead exciting when I began seeing a letter, Irvine said in the statement. It's not simple, learning to read again, but the more hours I put in, the more I pick up. Participants in the study underwent several months of training to learn to read using the new device. Researchers also encouraged the patients to practice with the device in new ways. Irving used hers to do crossword puzzles, while another patient used the device to navigate the Paris metro system. A zoom function on the camera also helps users read fine print text, such as that on a prescription. The PRIMA system does have some limitations. Dr. Dimitrios Vavas, director of the Retina Service at Mass Eye and Ear, who was not involved in the study, told NBC News. In its current form, the device only restores vision in black and white, not color or grayscale, so it can't be used to recognize faces. In addition, it's not yet clear if the device will remain as effective after multiple years of use. But as the iterations of this device become better and better, it could become a real solution for a cohort of patients, Vavas told NBC. To everybody involved in a new system that utilizes a microchip and augmented reality glasses to restore text vision to people who have lost it because of age-related macular degeneration. Cheers. Ugh. Oh. It's so bad, folks. It's so bad. I don't know how many of you are subscribed to our Instagram. On Thursdays, I do post the news brew early on the Instagram. I don't know how many of you check it out or maybe picked this beer up to have alongside me. I hope none of you did. I always love all of the interaction that y'all have with our content, but I honestly hope nobody saw that Instagram post, and I hope nobody went and got this beer to have alongside me. I don't want to put this evil on all of you. So producer Donna says, "This is my revenge for all the crap you pull the rest of the year." Thanks, producer Donna. All right. It's trying to kill me, folks. All right, we call this next article a first of its kind. Oh, yeah, producer Donna says, "Love you." Rolling on floor laughing. Thanks, producer Donna. Nate, no. Nate just said preemptive revenge is the best. Nate, don't take her side. Don't. She doesn't need help. She doesn't. Hi, Tim. We need a screenshot of his best cringe face for shirts, says Charlie. I mean, it'd be easy to pull one. It's all available on these videos. Julie says Nick needs a beer exorcism. I really do. I'm gonna copy and paste this one into the chat. gosh. No, Becky, no. Becky just said if I could drink beer, I would try. No, Becky, I don't wish this evil on my. I don't even have enemies, and if I did, I still wouldn't wish this beer on them. This is just diabolical. Ugh. And it's nothing against New Holland. Like, New Holland makes solid beer, and I'm pretty sure if people like pumpkin beer, they'll like this. The problem today is I don't. So, I'm just gonna suffer. Alright. ARG-007, potential world first stroke drug developed in Washington, shows gains for acute ischemic stroke patients. This was published to the it's not Washington, it's West Australia, because this was published to the West Australian on Friday, October 17th of 2025 by Claire Sadler. A holy grail drug developed in West Australia is showing early signs of helping stroke patients think more clearly, regain independence, and enjoy a better quality of life. Perth-based biotechnology company Argenica Therapeutics has trialed a neuroprotective drug designed to protect the brain immediately after an acute ischemic stroke. The drug, known as ARG-007, has shown encouraging improvements in cognition, independence, and daily activities and overall quality of life in its Phase 2 trial. It could become the first of its kind to directly protect brain tissue while patients undergo surgery to remove clots following a stroke. A sample of patients from hospitals across the country, including Sir Charles Gairdner and Fiona Stanley hospitals, were given the drug after suffering a stroke, and they were compared against a placebo group. Argenica managing director and neuroscientist Liz Dallimore said ARG-007 worked by stopping brain cells from dying. One of the main things that happens when someone has a stroke is that channels on the brain cells start opening up and calcium floods in, causing brain cells to die or start being compromised, she said. Our drug essentially stops that process. It works in a whole raft of different ways to protect the brain cells from not only dying, but also stopping inflammation that happens post that injury. Cognitive impairment is common after stroke and is often described as the injury of greatest concern for stroke sufferers. The study found at 90 days after a stroke, 58% of treated patients returned back to a normal level of cognition compared to 35% of placebo patients. Improvement in independence, including feeding, bathing, dressing, and walking, increased by more than 13%, while placebo patients' independence decreased by almost 9% between day 30 and day 90 of recovery. Patients' quality of life was also high among those who had taken the drug, with the strongest benefits observed in patients at highest risk of severe brain injury after a stroke. The primary outcome we were looking at was safety, and we showed that the drug is well tolerated in stroke patients, Dr. Dallimore said. We're pretty excited that we're actually seeing these trends, even though the patient numbers are small, so it's definitely pointing in the right direction, which is really encouraging, they added. Oh, and they kept going. Neuroprotection is the holy grail of stroke treatment, and we are one of the companies the furthest progressed in terms of really cracking this and getting a neuroprotective drug on the market, which is exciting. The next step for Argenica is a further trial showing what type of stroke sufferers would benefit the most from the drug. To everybody involved with this at Argenica, Argenica Therapeutics and the production of ARG-007, which protects the brain from folks who from further damage incurred after a person has a stroke. Cheers. I don't wanna drink this. I really don't want to. In Chicago, we went to like a brewery that was, it was mid. It still wasn't this. It wasn't this. Make it a good one. You can do it. Charlie, what are you talking about? I can't change the beer. I can't be like, bam, you're a stout. Bam, you're a porter. Bam, you're not pumpkin. I can't. I have no power. I can't make it better. The only way to make it better would be to just dump some other beer into this to the point where it's just spilling all over my keyboard and everything and just drown it. But that's not going to happen. Oh, rant over. God. Charlie says he's losing it. I meant make it a good sip. Daku says your first mistake was choosing New Holland. Look, New Holland is actually one of my favorite breweries. So, and that's like worldwide. New Holland is one of my favorite breweries. So I chose the right brewery. I just had to go with a pumpkin beer. Dirty Rogue says do that. Tim says make a black and tan out of it, except for the spilling part. Add pumpkin spice to Becky, I'm not going to add pumpkin on pumpkin. This is not going to be pumpkin on pumpkin crime in a glass. Julie says Castle, one of her cats, sends headbutts and purrs. He came upstairs to watch me. Thank you. Nate says take a good pull on it. The faster you drink it, the faster it'll be gone, says Charlie. I don't want any of it in my mouth. It's so bad. It's so bad. We're gonna get out of health and medicine. We're gonna move on to flora and fauna, aka plants and animals. We called this one panning for pine needles. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. Again, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all blowing up the chat, just seeing everybody is so great. And show the VOD some love too when we do the re-upload. Because those go into the playlists and stuff. Those are like the ones that will... we try out some different things and some little editing stuff on while we continue, to dial in our product. So, and those are the ones that are going to see some other stuff get added to them as time goes on. Daku says, pumpkin spiced revenge and fury. Happy Halloween, everybody. Okay, here we go. Ugh. Scientists find gold growing in spruce tree needles. This was published to the Weather Network on October 20th of 2025 by Cheryl Santa Maria. Scientists have found a connection between bacteria in Norway spruce needles and the development of gold nanoparticles, a discovery that could one day lead to more environmentally friendly ways to study gold. The findings are detailed in a paper in the journal Environmental Microbiome. For their paper, experts from the University of Oulu and Geological Survey Finland analyzed 138 needle samples from 23 spruce trees situated on the Katia gold mine in Finland. They found gold nanoparticles surrounded by bacterial biofilms in 4 of them. Scientists have known for some time that through oxidation, mineral deposits release ions and bacterial activity that migrate to the soil. Because of this, traces of different types of metals can be found in the plants and snow. Plants also host microbes. It's believed that the microbes help with a plant's biomineralization, i.e., the process in which a plant creates minerals that help it survive. The new research suggests that during biomineralization, substances like gold can accumulate and solidify in plant tissues and form parts of its defense mechanisms, although this process is not fully understood. Our recent study provides preliminary evidence of how gold moves into plant shoots and how gold nanoparticles can form inside of needles, lead author and postdoctoral researcher Kaisa Lehojma from the University of Oulu, Finland, said in a statement. In the soil, gold is present in a soluble liquid form. Carried by water, the gold moves into spruce needles. The tree's microbes can then precipitate this soluble gold back into solid nano-sized particles. The gold is invisible to the naked eye, measuring a millionth of a millimeter. That makes it too small to be harvested for commercial use, but the discovery could benefit geologists. This suggests that these specific spruce-associated bacteria can help transform soluble gold into solid particles inside the needles. This insight is useful since screening for bacteria in plant leaves may facilitate gold exploration, Dr. Lahosma says. Metals can, for example, precipitate with moss tissues. Studying biomineralization also allows us to explore how bacteria and microbes living in aquatic mosses can help remove metals from water. That's really cool. To everybody involved in this study in Finland, at the University of Oulu and Geological Survey Finland, finding gold nanoparticles in spruce tree needles. Cheers. Julie says, Donna, I could have contacted Julie for baked goodies to offset the beer. Daku says, I need some pumpkin pie to offset the angry pumpkin beer. I love pumpkin pie. I hate pumpkin beer. Also said that's freaking cool. So a black and tan is a mixed beer drink, effectively, where you layer one beer on top of another because of the wonderful properties of density. I don't remember what a traditional black and tan is because I've had so many different types, but usually, like, you'll layer a porter on top of anything, really. I know I've seen it done with, like, a cider before. I've seen somebody layer a Guinness on top of a cider. I've seen people layer porters on top of Yingling. Magners. Nate says Magners, not just any beer. Magners. So, yeah, so you layer Magners. Yeah, so it looks really cool, and it drinks really well, so. Ugh. 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 There might have been a reply in there. I can see the base chat. I can't see replies in chat. I'll bet if I looked at the... It actually doesn't pop up in that one either. Alright. Poison. Just straight... It's poison, folks. It's really poison. Becky says, you're so smart. Thanks, Nick. Becky, I've just had a lot of beer in my life. All right. We're going to get out of flora and fauna. We're going to move on to category 4 already. The wholesome notes. This first article we called It Takes a Village. And I will copy and paste it into the chat here for y'all to read along if you'd like. Charlie says, don't eat the bear meat. Nate says, it's like whiskey. The more it impacts you, the better it will taste. Nate, it's impacting my face violently. Like, it is punching me in the mouth. Drink faster. Nate, no. No. All right. Christian Bale is set to open a village in Los Angeles to house foster siblings together. This was published to to Realtor.com's News and Insights location on August 5th of 2025 by Snezhana Farbarov. Charlie says, let the darkness flow through you. No. No, the darkness will be when I go back to drinking stouts. Academy Award-winning actor Christian Bale is getting closer to fulfilling his 17-year dream of building a village outside of Los Angeles where foster siblings could live together without facing the threat of separation. The Dark Knight star and Dr. Eric Azraelian, a physician and UCLA professor, have co-founded Together California to create a new kind of community for children in foster care.
Oh, God.
In 2022, the charity secured a combined $1.7 million in funding from the city of Palmdale, California, in suburban Los Angeles, and the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors to purchase a 4.7-acre parcel of land for the project. 2 years later, construction began on Bale and Azraelian's village in the high desert north of Los Angeles. Designed by the acclaimed firm A.C. Martin Architects, the development will include 12 three-bedroom townhomes, each housing 6 children. Professionally trained full-time foster parents will be put in charge of providing care and support for the children. The Together California Village will also feature a 7,000-square-foot community center offering enrichment programs and services for the foster children and their caretakers, a garden, and open spaces. Additionally, studio apartments will be available to provide temporary housing for the kids' birth parents and transitional housing for teens aging out of the foster care system. The idea to take action to improve the lives of California's foster children initially came to Bale when his daughter, Emmeline Bale, was just 3 years old in the early 2000s. The British actor, who's 51, revealed in an interview with CBS Sunday Morning in May that he imagined what would happen to his toddler if he and his wife, Sibby Bale, were gone. That, in turn, prompted Bale to look at foster care, leading him to a startling statistic. Roughly 75% of siblings entering foster care in the United States end up being separated and having to live apart. Imagine the trauma of that, being taken from your parents, and then you lose your siblings, he told CBS correspondent Tracy Smith. That's just something that we shouldn't be doing. Although Bale grew up in the family of a circus performer and an activist in Wales, England, and never personally experienced the challenges of foster care, he stressed that this has not diminished his empathy for those who have. I don't think you have to have any connection to foster care in your past, the father of 2 told the news outlet. It's just about a basic understanding that as a society, how can you not take care of our children? So I don't think it requires a connection. It just requires having a heart. Armed with this conviction, the American Hustle star soon joined forces with Tim McCormick, who at the time was working on building foster care housing aimed at keeping siblings together in Chicago. Bale enlisted McCormick to lead Together California, applying his previous experience to the Golden State, which has the highest number of children in the foster care system in the United States, topping 43,000 according to 2023 figures. Over the next 3 years, Together California raised enough funding from public and private resources, including the Austrian-American Council West, which contributed $6 million toward building the village's community center, and multiple individual donors, among them Leonardo DiCaprio. Slowly but surely, the unremarkable patch of scrubland next to Palmdale's McAdam Park has transformed into a bustling construction site swarming with workers and heavy machinery. By August 1st, the first homes in the village have begun to take shape. The walls are not all up yet, but the vision is clear. An innovative model of foster care filled with hope, connection, and the kind of love that helps children believe that dreams can come true. Together California wrote in a caption accompanying a time-lapse video showing the construction progress posted to the organization's Instagram page. Bale has admitted in interviews that he never thought that it would take the better part of 2 decades to realize his dream project. I didn't think it was going to take that long, Bale told the Associated Press in 2024. I had a very naive idea about getting a piece of land and then bringing kids in and the brothers and sisters living together and the sort of singing songs like the Van Trapp family in The Sound of Music. Speaking to CBS Sunday Morning, this spring, the Ford vs. Ferrari star emphasized that even if he had known that it would take 17 years to build the foster care community, he would have done it anyway. Although Bale is considered one of the finest actors of his generation and has appeared in dozens of films, including the 2010 drama The Fighter, which won him an Oscar, the A-lister said he considers the Together California project one of his most important achievements. When I'm closing my eyes for the last time, I want to think about, did I do some good? Did I make any changes in the world that were useful? Bale told CBS's Smith. And this will be one of the things that I'm most proud of when I draw my last breath. The first children are slated to move into the Together California homes in Palmdale in late December or early January of 2026. To Together California, actor Christian Bale, Dr. Eric Azralian, and where was his name? The builders that came in. Tim McCormick, and everybody involved with the construction of Together California's housing plan for foster children to keep siblings together. Cheers. Ugh. Becky asks, they build the homes, but who will take care of them? So they mentioned in the article that there will be professionally trained full-time foster parents. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a team with Together California and also these foster parents helping to care for the kids and the buildings. That's a good one. That's not. All right. Our last article of the night is a heckin' good boy article, and I love this one. I actually watched the video that inspired this article. I highly recommend, if you get a chance, you watch the video. Nate says, one of the biggest issues with foster care is that they have nowhere to go when they are 18. That is true. Becky says tissues. I don't know. The video, if you watch the video, yeah, have some tissues ready. The article, I'm not quite sure. I'll copy and paste this into the chat so y'all can read along. Rescued dog becomes the rescuer. Family pup saved from a shelter guides officer to missing grandmother. This was published to goodnewsnetwork.org on October 18th of 2025 by Nathan Frederick. Once upon a time, this dog had been injured and helpless, but a Florida rescue shelter never gave up on him. Now, it was his turn to return the favor. Back in 2019, Eeyore the dog had been hit by a car and taken to L&R Rescue near Pensacola with a badly broken femur. Euthanasia was discussed, but the organization opted to pay for an expensive surgery to repair the bone instead. Veterinarians performed a difficult procedure that repaired Eeyore's fracture using bone plates to improve his stability. He stayed in the shelter until his pain subsided, and he was able to walk again on his own. In all, the rescue spent thousands on Eeyore's recovery. And last month, the investment in Eeyore paid dividends. At around 10:30 p.m. on September 25th, a distraught elderly man called the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office because his wife was missing. She had been out walking Eeyore, a grand dog that belonged to their son. 30 minutes passed, then an hour, and she still hadn't returned. Deputy Devin Miller soon arrived on the scene to take a statement. She never takes more than 10 or 15 minutes. It's almost an hour now, the man told Miller in body camera footage that was released by the department. And the video is below in the article if you want to watch it. Again, I highly recommend you do. Maybe have some tissues. Daku says, and the Best Boy Award goes to. Miller got a brief description of the woman and Eeyore and went back into the dark to search. Eeyore showed up within minutes, trotting out toward her patrol car. Hi, baby. Where's your mama? Deputy Miller cooed. Eeyore seemed to understand the command and quickly turned to lead Miller across a yard, past a house, and onto a golf course in back. Just a few feet away, the woman was lying on the sidewalk. The 86-year-old was in the midst of a medical emergency, though was alert and conscious. Deputy Miller told her that Eeyore guided her the whole way there. I was in front of that house right there, and then the dog ran up to me. The dog brought you? The elderly lady asked. He wouldn't leave. He kept coming back to me. And I'm not even his owner. I am his grandmother. Oh, you're such a good boy, Miller said to Eeyore. Paramedics arrived soon afterward and transported the woman to the hospital, where she was on track to a complete recovery. The Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office eventually shared the footage on social media, where Eeyore tallied up many good boys, likes, and positive comments. Media requests about Eeyore's story poured in from across the world, as people wanted to learn more about the heartwarming story and the animal shelter's compassion. The rescued dog became the rescuer. What a good boy indeed. To Eeyore, the rescued pup that survived being hit by a car, to Eleanor Rescue that decided not to euthanize him and instead put up a ton to see him reach recovery, and especially back to Eeyore for saving his owner's mother, effectively saving his grandmother. Heckin' good boy. Cheers. Ugh. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. 6 amazing articles, especially ending on a heckin' good boy with Eeyore the dog saving his grandmother effectively. We thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News YouTube page. Again, we're live every Sunday, and our next episode will be on November 2nd of 2025. We encourage participation, so if you feel inclined, you can message us and post suggestions for news brews, shoutouts, news quotes, and especially good news articles that we can post on future episodes. If you send us a bunch of articles, please try to spread them out across our 4 major categories, which again are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and wholesome notes. The really nice ones we like to end on, like our heckin' good boy Eeyore. You can message us on Facebook or Instagram, or email us at somebudgetstudios@gmail.com. Links are in the description of this video. Feel free to like and subscribe or comment on our Facebook and Instagram content, on our YouTube and TikTok videos, and just anything that gets good news and joy out into the algorithm. Please, no SEO improvement advertisements. We're not interested. Everything that y'all are doing, everything that you do drives Nick's News up and up. We have crossed the 300 follower mark on Facebook. All of our numbers continue to go up, and I can't thank you all enough for that. Really, y'all drive Nick's News higher and higher, and I am so thankful to have every single one of you with us. So, as always, thank you again. I love you all. Have a great night, and I will play us out.